So maybe you've lately run a 10K run and you've decided to kick it up a notch to go for your first half marathon race. So today we're going to be sharing with you how to run your first half marathon like a champion. But before we dig into it, please do subscribe to the page if you like the content that we're sharing, and also click off that little bell icon. That way you'll get our latest videos automatically and you'll be updated to run like a champ all the time. All right, fantastic. Let's dig into it. Today we're going to be covering the prerequisites of running a half marathon, your first half marathon. We're also going to be sharing with you the training that you should be working on and focusing on to make sure that you get there safely without injury and run your best possible time for your first half marathon. And we also need to look a little bit at the nutrition and how to deal with that concept. We'll also briefly talk about how to recover after the race and get ready for your next run, which is going to be definitely a personal best. All right, let's get into it. So when we talk about the prerequisites of a half marathon, for your first one, we'd recommend you should have at least run 10 or 12 Ks recently. So at least you've covered that distance. That way we know you can run the distance. Then number two, if you can run 5 Ks without stop, you can run your first half marathon reasonably safely within 6 weeks time. If you can run or in 8 weeks time, excuse me, if you can run 8 Ks without stop, you can run your first half marathon in 6 weeks time. All right, so that gives you a good indication of where you're standing and if you should be looking at this program or if you should be looking at a 10K program for now. All right, but let's get into it. So what we want to look at firstly is your training days. I'd recommend, you want to look at between 3, 4 or 5 days of training. I'd say 4 days for your first half marathon is perfect. Combine that with some mobility training, some resting, some stretching, maybe a little bit of strength work, and that's really going to serve you well. By the way, we'll link to this video right now and also in the description below a free program from us, which you can get on our website. It's a 6 weeks program. So if you fall into those previous prerequisites that I gave you, you can download your program on our website. It's completely free. You can check it out and that will guide you to your first half marathon like a champion. That program is based on, it starts off with 3 days and builds into 4 days. And that's really what I'd recommend initially so that you get enough recovery time and you're strong enough for the run. All right, so we've covered how many days you should be training. We'd like you to be able to run currently around 23, 24 Ks, and we want to build that up to nice 43 to 45 Ks, even 40, 48 Ks per week. So that's your weekly mileage that we want to build up to make sure you got enough endurance. But also with that endurance, we also got to work on speed. So let's quickly talk about the kind of key workouts that you need to focus on. I'll break it down into 3 key workouts. One, we want to work on speed and interval. So you can call it speed or interval or track workouts, whichever you'd like. So we need, for half marathon, we need a good decent amount of speed so that we can complete the race smiling and not walking the whole thing. All right, so when we're talking about speed, key workouts for half marathon would be your 400 meter sprints, also strides. So let's start off with the 400 meter sprints. So 400 meter sprints will be a short workout. We'll probably look at something like 3 sets of 4 repetitions of 400 meter sprints. Those sprints will be about at your 5K pace. So if you don't know what that is, there'll be a link below. You want to run your 5K as hard as you can. Get that pace, that average pace that you ran that 5K at. And your intervals you can do at that pace. Maybe slightly faster than that pace will also serve you, but round about that pace. Another great workout will be your 1,000 meter sprints. So that will probably be like depending on your program, you want to look at doing 5 of those and slowly build them up to maybe 7. That will be 7 1,000 meter sprints, and you want to have about a 2-minute rest, 2.5-minute rest between each one. All right, after that, we want to look at your next key workout, which will be a tempo run. Tempo run, cool, it's a very tough run. It's really going to train that lactic acid threshold, so it's going to get your heart rate up. It's going to be tough. A great workout for this is just your 5K time trials. For instance, running 5K all out pace, and I'll do a couple of those just to get your heart rate up and get used to running fast. I'll do those about every 2 to 3 weeks. That will be great in your program. Combined with your tempo, well, on that workout, I'll also do some 800 meters at 5K pace. So 6 intervals of 800 meters at 5K pace, followed by a 2-minute easy jog. So you keep on moving, followed by an easy jog, and you want to do 6 and to start with and build up to 8. That is a great workout for you because it's not too tough. You can manage it, but you're building up as you're going along as well. Another nice tempo workout will be, for instance, doing your 5 and hopefully building up to an 8K at tempo pace. That will be your 15K tempo pace. If you do not know what your 15K tempo pace is, you check out, I'll put a link below to our running calculator. And that calculator is really the cornerstone of data that you really need to know how to run scientifically. So you just put in your 5K time in, and it's going to break down all the times for you, including your interval time. So it's really going to bring great value to you. So what you're going to do is you'll do a little bit of a warm-up. You'll then do 5K at that tempo pace, your 15K tempo pace, and then you'll do a cool down, maybe 1.2 or 2K cool down. Then your third key run will be your long run. Now your long run is all about going slow, nice and easy at conversational pace. So yeah, you're going to build up anyway, say you're starting now, you've done a 10 or 12K recently, you want to start off with about 12 or 14Ks and every week build it up slowly. So normally 20 to 30% you can increase. So you want to basically go from a 14 to or say 12, 14, 16, 18. You don't have to go all the way to 21 to feel comfortable. So our program, the 6 weeks program, don't go all the way to 21. It basically goes to 18Ks and then you start tapering. We'll cover the tapering now in a second. So you slowly want to increase those. I do recommend for your first half marathon to include run walking. So for instance, jogging for 8 minutes, walking 1 minute. Jogging 8 minutes, walking 1 minute. It's going to help you stay in the aerobic pace. It's going to help you stay healthy and not have as many injuries. And you're also going to be able to go much further. So do incorporate that run walking into your program. So please guys, on that calculator, it also gives you a low aerobic pace and a high aerobic pace. Stay within those paces. If you're going uphill, go slower. If you're going downhill, go slightly faster. But you want to go nice and easy. You should at all times be able to keep a conversation with a mate, or now obviously social distancing. So you want to at least be able to string 2 sentences together. But you'll keep it very low heart rate. You're looking at zone 2 to 3, low 3s, very low 3s on your watch. Say you have a heart rate watch. But we do share the paces with you that you should run at in that calculator. So do make sure to check out the calculator. All right. So you want to build that up. That's your other key run. And the fourth run, which is really just an aerobic run, which will normally be 5 to 8Ks aerobic, which you can just fit in between those workouts that I just shared. Those 3 key workouts is your main workout. The aerobic run, you can add maybe 1 or 2 throughout the week. It's very easy. You can even go aerobic to recovery run. So maybe 5 minutes jog, 1 minute walk. On that, also keeping at a very low heart rate. So you want to run very easy. And for beginners, guys, this is normally slower than you can imagine. All right, so that's where we build the real endurance up. So go nice and slow. I would say for your first half marathon on those prerequisites, you're looking at 6 to 8 weeks. But obviously, this is just to complete your first half marathon and feel great and really pick up. You're definitely going to pick up the speed with the intervals and with the tempo run, and also build that endurance. So you're looking at the key elements here. But if you really want to go into running a personal best, or you have a strict goal, I would start off with that 6 weeks or 8 weeks. Start off with our free program maybe, and thereafter you want to go into a proper 12 to 16 week program. That gives you a great base to build, to really strengthen up on the speed and the endurance to be able to run a absolute personal best. All right, guys, I really hope you enjoy that. Oh, before we go, sorry, I said we're going to cover the taper. I would recommend that the last 9 days before the race, you do taper down on your training. So the last week, for instance, you'll only do a couple of kilometers, maybe 15 Ks or 10, 15 Ks through the week before your race. So maybe on Tuesday, maybe 4 to 6 400 meters, but also the warm-up, cool down very easy. And then I'll probably have done strides, which is another workout. You can check out one of our videos, I'll link it down here, on how to do strides. I'll probably have done a 5K with 10 strides, like 3 days before your half marathon. Nutrition, another thing that we have to cover. So about 2-3 days beforehand, I'll just make sure you have a little bit of carbs. Make sure that your body has got enough energy to go the distance. Now, the half marathon is a distance where you don't go extremely catabolic, so it's a great race to stay healthy and build up all the health benefits of running. So you don't have to go eat every burger. You want to keep it healthy, so definitely your pastas, your rices and so forth. Stay away from too much bread and sugar and sweets and stuff like that. Maybe some fruits is great, depending on your diet requirements at the moment, but just a little bit more carbohydrates to make sure that you can go the distance. Obviously, if you're on a fat diet, you want to have a little bit more fat to make sure that you can go the distance. But you want to have some decent meals. I would say the night before, just a normal meal again, so don't push it too hard. And the morning before, you want to have a nice breakfast, like eggs on a rye bread or something like that, or whatever you've been training on. This is another key element. Through your program, you want to start practicing on how to eat, because this comes to our race day nutrition. So through your program, you want to have practiced what to eat and how to eat it, and what your body is good at consuming. So ideally, you want to eat every 45 minutes, 30 to 60 grams of carbohydrates, ideally, depending on what your diet requirements, but 30 to 60 grams of food. And you would want to have tested it before race day. All right, so definitely test it. So if it's jelly babies, a handful of jelly babies, does your body enjoy eating the jelly babies whilst running? Another thing you need to know is, do you enjoy your breakfast? Is your body able to eat a full breakfast, like for instance 2 eggs on a rye bread, and when you go for your long run, does it work for you? You have to have practiced this. So practice this through your long runs and see how your body responds. So responds to it. So when you get to race, you feel fantastic and you know what's going to work and what's not going to work. We're talking about recovery, and this is the last point I want to cover here. On recovery, I would probably have this is your first half marathon. So the first week right after that race, I would have just taken very gentle. Just still go out, run, but do the aerobic runs. Don't go straight into your intervals again. Don't go straight into your tempo run again. I would just have done 3 to 4 aerobic runs, medium distance between 5 and 10 Ks, no more, and then start on your new program thereafter. Great, guys. I hope the video was beneficial to you and I hope you enjoyed it. Remember to subscribe, and we'll check you at the next one.